This video is for people who have been struggling in their relationships, or they have been in a situationship with somebody who just absolutely refuses to make them their official partner. It's not gonna be what you hear in like the positive psychology circle and like heal your inner child. That is not the vibe of these tips that I'm going to give you. So if you are very much with that sort of mindset, like if you're a love and light girly, you're not gonna like these tips. I will say that what I found is that people who have a lot of love and light advice, that advice works if you're working and you're living in a sphere where everybody's love and light, everybody's working on their enlightenment, and everybody's on the path to self-actualization. But if you live in the world where I live, where people are in different levels of development and some people are completely unconscious of their egos. Some people are completely unconscious of their pain and struggles that cause them to be shitty people. These tips are going to help you. If you just want to skip to the tips, you can go ahead and do that. If you're suffering, if you're brokenhearted, I'm going to try my best to be gentle with you. But hear me right now as like your older sister. I'm going to tell you something really important. And I got dumped actually by my husband when I was in high school. He dumped me. It was my first heartbreak. And my friend Nancy's older sister took me aside and she was like, you know, he dumped you for somebody else, right? And I was like, what? And she was like, nobody dumps you to be alone. She said that to me and it was like, she spoke directly into my heart. It was true. He dumped me to like meet other people, I guess. We were teenagers, it's fine. That, like what she did for me, I didn't have an older sister and my mom was not concerned with my love life. My mom was a grown lady going to work. I'm gonna do for you what that girl did for me. And I really hope that it helps you. If you have any comments and you have any more questions about your situation, if you wanna put them in the comments for other people to put their opinions or to try to give you advice, go ahead and do that. But I'm gonna try my very best to reply to comments in this video. These are the main things that are going to change your relationships and change your opportunities of being with somebody that you deserve, that you want to be with, being in the relationship that you deserve. These three things are going to help you the most. But if there's anything else that I didn't address, please make sure you leave me a comment. Okay, so the very first thing, I'm going to start off real controversial, is that you absolutely need to test people. You need to test people because a lot of times when you are in the beginning stages of the relationship, you are both very in love. You are functioning off of just excitement and hormones. The love hormones that happen when you meet somebody and you're like, it's love at first sight and I have the butterflies. All of that is just a hormonal reaction. And I don't want to like minimize it and act like it's nothing, girl. Being in love is wonderful. But the thing is that is just one component of a relationship. And you should not base an entire relationship off of that. Because this is where the testing comes in. Because life is everything outside of your relationship, right? So life is getting fired. Life is getting cancer. Life is even like my dog died. Life is taking out the trash. Life is all of those annoying, boring things that pop up every single day. That is what life is made of. And sometimes we are in relationships where the person is just there for the fun parts. They're there to like, you know, get down and dirty with you. They're there to give you compliments and to tell you good morning, beautiful. And all of those things are great. But sometimes when like shit hits the fan, that person is not going to be there for you. And if you want a real relationship, like I'm not saying that your partner shouldn't text you good morning, beautiful. Of course, all of that is extra. But I really feel like the basis and foundation of a relationship is whether somebody could be a partner for you in your everyday life. So let's just say you are in college, you're in medical school, in grad school, whatever type of profession you have right now. A partner is somebody that is going to make that road easier for you. This works both ways. So if you're a guy and you're in school, your girl should make, or if you're gay, your guy should make your life easier, and vice versa. If you're a lady and you're in college and you have a partner, that partner should make life easier for you. That is what partnership is about. It's like if you have a freaking business, you're gonna hire somebody to be your partner or bring somebody on to be your partner who can help you with the business, right? The business of fucking life. That is what a partnership is about. So if you find yourself in a relationship where everything is really good, you're really, really happy, you still still need to test it. And I know it sounds like horrible and Machiavellian, but it's just absolutely true. And there are many ways of testing this. One of the ways you could test it is just be like, it could be something as simple as, hey babe, like my car broke down, and see what he does, or see what she does. This has nothing to do with sex or gender, absolutely nothing. Because a good part, even if it's a girl and she doesn't know jack shit about cars, and you text her that your car broke down, a real partner is gonna be like, let me get on Google and try to find somebody to go help you fix your freaking car, or let me call up my brother to see if he can go give you a ride. Whatever it is, whatever problem you have, your partner should be a part of the solution, or at the very least they should want to be a part of the solution. And this is like the issue with people who just fall in love, and more often than not when people are having long distance relationships. And this is increasing recently because we are dating so much online because of the accessibility. We have so many dating apps. You don't have to be limited by your environment, and you want to meet somebody from another town. That's fantastic. I'm happy for you. I think you should. I actually met my husband online. We're from the same town, but we did meet online. So all of this is great, but being online means that you do not get to be with that person in the 6th house, in the day-to-day things. And when it comes to day-to-day things, that's where life gets hard, right? And the boring and the mundane, the 6th house, right? Not the 12th house. That is the mundane things. And if that person that you're with cannot fit into your day-to-day life with them is going to be very difficult. Because if you plan on ever being together, then how will they know if they fit into your life if you've never actually tested it? So text them that your car broke down. Or look, this is something that I never advocate. I tell women to like not sleep around. That is just like, I'm a Venus and Scorpio. I don't think that you should do that, because if you are looking for a partner that takes your sexual relationship seriously, you should take your sexual energy very seriously. And I say this to men and to women, honestly, it has nothing to do. I'm a Venus and Scorpio. I think that this is an entirely different video, but let's just say you've already been with this person. This is like the ultimate test. Let's just say you've already been with this person. Text them that like, hey, like I haven't gotten my period, and see what he does. See what he does. This is like the ultimate test. Like, see his reaction. This is like old. I remember, I think I read this. I used to read those grown lady magazines when I was like 10 or 11 years old. I had no idea what I was reading, but they were so good. They were like, in Spanish, it was called Vanidades. I think it was like Cosmo for Mexico, or what. We also had Cosmo. And I would read all of those magazines. I didn't know what the hell was going on, but I remember they always had like these like big sister type of articles where they would give you advice on how to see if a partner was serious about you. And I don't remember specifically what they said, but it was just like, test him. And they would give you like different tests to do. So I just gave you like the ultimate one. Just be like, I missed my period. And this is not to say that you want him to be like, oh, we're having a baby, let's get married. Like, no. But you know, even if you didn't want to keep a baby, whatever it was that you in your own freedom, in your own life wanted to do, you want to see how that person would respond to a big issue like that. Because some guys would just lose your number if you texted them that. And this is one thing that I think is excellent about Scorpio Venus, and I know that it's in its detriment, but Scorpios will test you. And I know people say that that's toxic and horrible, but guys, like, how do you know what people are made of if you've never seen them in a tough spot? Like, how will you know if they're gonna be there for you if you've never needed them to be there for you? Sometimes, what did Shakira say in one of her songs? She was like, you left me in the moment that I needed you the most. Wouldn't you want to know that? Wouldn't you want to know if your partner would be there? Let's just say if you lost everything, would you want your partner to be the kind of partner to leave you and be like, you know, things are rough now, I'll see you later? Wouldn't you want to know that they would be there? Or wouldn't you want to know that if you really freaking needed $5,000, would you want to know that your partner would be like, you know what, not only do I have the $5,000, but I'll give them to you. You know, and this is not, sometimes people are working really hard and they don't have $5,000 to give you, but maybe they have 500 and they would give them to you. And this is all, it's not, I'm not saying like you should be with somebody who has all of this money to lend you and give you. No, it's not about that. It's within their resources. Will they be there for you? Okay. And a lot of, as I said, relationships are supposed to fit into your everyday life. You are not supposed to have, your relationship is not like a storybook that you open when you want to have a good time. You don't just go to your relationship relationship and be like, oh, let's get romantic right now. No, your relationship is a real actual thing that you have every morning when you wake up and you're in a rush to get to work and you had to wake up at 5 in the morning and you only slept 4 hours. Your relationship is part of that. Do not make your relationship be this very special romantic thing, because you're gonna have a terrible time. So make sure you're testing your partner to see if they would really be there for you. And I can't think of more ideas off the top of my head other than like my car broke down and like, oof, I missed my period. But if you have any other testing ideas, if you're okay with sharing your ideas of testing, make sure you leave them in the comments, and I could make a separate video talking all about this and how it relates to the zodiac signs, because honestly, it does relate to the zodiac signs. The earth signs test you in the second way that I'm going to talk about, and Scorpios, as if you're a Scorpio watching this, you know what we do. We do the whole like, oh, I'll see you later. I don't think this is working out, to try to see if you'll like kind of chase us a little bit, because we want to see how invested you are. We want to see how invested you are. And people think that's horrible and toxic, and that's okay, because, do those people have a happy, long-lasting relationship? Maybe they do. And if they do, God bless them. They're so lucky. But if you don't have the relationship that you want, maybe you need to try something else. Maybe you need to try something a little bit different, a little bit devious. Maybe that's what you need to do. Okay, and this second thing is what you need to do. If you thought number one was absolutely unattainable for you, you are not going to be able to test somebody. You can't ask them for money. You can't pretend your car broke down. You can't pretend like you lost everything in a fire. Okay, fine. If you don't want to be that devious, do this second one for me, please. Because I know you're a good person. You have a good heart. You want a good relationship. You keep running into people who just don't stick around, or they're not serious about you. Do this second thing. Watch them. Observe the things that they do. So let's just say you text them. How quickly do they text you back? Let's just say you sent them a whole ass paragraph. Are they replying in 2 or 3 words? Just let that observation sink in and then adjust your behavior based on that. If that person is replying to you with 2 or 3 words when you sent them like a paragraph having a conversation, please have the self-love to understand that that person is not matching your energy. Just watch them. Just watch what they do. It's like the special forces, guys. Real life is like something that you need the special forces for. You don't want just anybody to do the job. So, and what I mean by that is the people in the special forces, like they torture and test them to make sure they'd survive or make sure that they wouldn't crack under pressure. That's the kind of love that I'm looking for in this life. Do you want somebody who's just gonna be like, oof, like, Denise, like you're depressed right now and I really can't deal with it. Girl, you need to wash your hair. Sometimes I get depressed and I don't wash my hair. Are you gonna leave me? Because sometimes I get depressed and I don't wash my hair. And if you're gonna leave me, then I can't be with you, because I can't guarantee that I'll never be depressed again, right? Is that the kind of love that you want? If you want somebody who would stick with you no matter what happened, then you need to know, you need to kind of put them in the situation, throw them in the Shark Tank and see what would happen. Because imagine that it happens and you get depressed and you can't wash your hair, you can't make it to work, you absolutely lose everything. Do you also want to lose your relationship at that same time? Or would you rather know that your relationship is not something that you need to worry about, because the person that you chose, they've been tested and you know that they're going to be there for you? Everything else is just wishful thinking. You could just wish, man, like I really know he has a good heart. I've never tested him. He hasn't really seen me through a hard time, but like I know him, like he would be there for me, right? Right? You don't know. You don't know if they'd be there for you unless it happened. And, maybe in your life, you're very blessed and maybe you haven't had to deal with like serious illness or mental health issues, or maybe somebody in your family hasn't died. So you haven't had the opportunity for life to kind of test the person for you. So you could artificially create that, as I said in number 1. Or you can just, if you want to be that type of person, look, I'm just going to be patient and I'm going to observe them. Well, then do that. Observe them. Watch how they behave when your mom gets sick. Are they there for you? How do they behave when you get sick? Do they try to ease that for you? Do they try to make it better for you? And this, as I said, it goes for men and women, straight, hetero, whatever, gay, hetero, whatever it is. It does not matter. Your partner should care about how your life is going, and they should try to make your life easier for you. As I said, this, if you're someone's wife, you should be making that man or that woman's life easier, and vice versa. If you're a man, you better be bringing food home for your lady, because she had a bad day and she needs some Chick-fil-A. And while we're on the subject of watching what people do and not just listening to what they say, somebody who's gonna be there for you, they generally won't be like, oh, I'm gonna be there for you. I'm gonna buy you a home. I'm gonna get you a car and make all these promises and then just keep like playing video games and doing what they normally do. If somebody was serious about that, they probably wouldn't have time to play video games. They would probably be like in college or working really hard at the oil rigs, whatever it is that they're gonna do to make those things a reality. They should be on those steps of making those things a reality. Because honestly, I don't even think it's those people's fault. Like sometimes people have good intentions. And when they're telling you like, I'm gonna be there for you, they really mean it in the moment. It's not like they're trying to, some people straight up are trying to lie to you, right? That's not the people I'm talking about. I'm assuming that all people are good, they have good intentions, right? So these people, they have good intentions and they mean that. But it just so happens that the way that they live their life and their personality is just not conducive to that. Are you okay with that? Are you okay with being with somebody who overpromises and underdelivers? Maybe you are. Maybe you don't need them to get a car for you. Maybe you don't need them to help you. Maybe you got it all by yourself. Some people are very self-reliant, and that's okay. And that leads me to the third tip. The third tip is like, be for fucking real. Be for real. Like, what is it that you want in your relationships? And this, I maybe should have started with this point, but some people just want their relationships to be fun and they want somebody to have fun with. They want somebody to go explore the world with, Sag Venus. They want somebody to go explore the world with, to talk really interesting topics with. They want somebody to just be there along for the ride of life. That's what they want. They don't want somebody who's gonna make their life easier, who's gonna stick through thick and thin. Some people are just like, bro, like if you get cancer, like why would you want me to be with you? Why do you want me to suffer too? Some people really believe that. And that's okay. There's no one way of being happy and there's no one way you should be. That does not exist. But what is true is that you should do the things that are true and authentic for you. This is what is true and authentic for me. I want relationships that are long lasting. I want my relationship to be like a cactus or like a freaking cockroach. Indestructible. That's what I want in my relationships. Sometimes my relationship is gonna be freaking boring. It's gonna be boring. And that's okay with me because I know myself. I know what I really want in life and I want a partner for freaking ever. I want to rock. Maybe you don't want that. Maybe when you hear that like for like a year or two, my relationship was absolutely boring. We didn't go anywhere. We lived in an apartment and we slept on the floor in a mattress and that's what we had to do in that period of our relationship. And I never went to a restaurant. I didn't even have internet or cable and that's what we did. And maybe that's not, you're just like, I don't know about that, Denise. Like I could have just been okay if we were just kind of backpacking, doing something cheap, having fun adventures, maybe not spending a lot of money, but Denise, fun is really important to me. Then be for real. Maybe that's what you want. And that's okay. And that's totally okay. But just know that about yourself, that you are really looking for fun. And then when your relationships kind of end because they get stale or the person just no longer has fun with you because life, maybe in college it was really easy to go on trips and now like things are not fun like they used to be, and your relationship ends, then that's okay, Then you develop a new relationship or you develop your own independent way of having fun. Whatever it is, come back to yourself and ask yourself, what do I really want out of a relationship? And this is a very individual thing. And this is where the natal chart is so freaking useful. Stop deciding what you want based off what you see on social media. It just bothers me so much. All of this rise of, oh, you want to be a trad wife, you want to be an alpha male, you want to be a 1% man, you want to be a high value woman. Like I could astrologically break down who naturally is those things because it's all astrological. Your chart just says what you are and the things that you are attracted to and the energy that is most natural to you. But because we are like automatons just staring at our screens, we get all these messaging and a lot of people, I won't say who because that's rude, but a lot of people absorb these messages and they just like put it on like a costume. And anything that is a costume that is not true to who you are is not going to make you happy. You're gonna waste a lot of time. So stop wasting time with that. Spend some time away from the internet and just asking yourself and being for fucking real with yourself about who you are, what you want, and go from there. If you have any questions, as I said, please leave them in the comments. If you are curious about any of these topics and you would want for me to talk to them more as they pertain to astrology, I absolutely can. But guys, I hope you liked the video and I'll see you in the next one.